Good morning, everybody. So my name is Sithen. Today, I'm going to present to you something that I find very helpful, and I think it is very important for Cambodian future leaders here and everybody's here. And I call it self-education. So before I start, I'd like to ask you a few questions. How many of you here finished your high school? Please raise your hands. Okay. How many of you got a bachelor degree? Okay. How about a master degree? Less and less. PhD? Anyone here? Oh, sorry. Okay. I can assume that most of us here are more or less formally educated. So I'd like you to open up a little bit to what I'm going to say and what I'm going to talk about, because it might affect you intellectually or emotionally. So before we understand what self-education is, we'd like to get to know what education is. So by definition, education comes from the Latin word that says educare, and it means bring up, bring out, bring forth what is within, or bring out the potential. So it means that we have to go through a process so we can have the abilities or the skills or the knowledge that we want. And that process has nothing to do with schools or universities. So regarding education, for the last several years, I discovered three categories of people. So the first category of people is uneducated people. So there are those who don't really have enough schooling, or they don't go to school enough like us. So you might think about these farmers or garment workers. And this is the second category. They are just like us, formally educated. So we go from grade 1 to grade 12, or some even go further into university just to get this degree and be happy like this man. And this is the third category I like to focus on. They are self-educated people. So self-educated people are those who learn things outside of schools. So they are most of the time independent from the formal education. And for me, the self-education is much, much more important than formal education. And I also like to show you how these three categories of people can interact or have some kind of interrelationship with each other. So uneducated people can transform themselves to formally educated people because they want to get, something like other people. They want to feel more civilized. And our parents want us to do that because so far we think it's a must. But some uneducated people can also become self-educated people because, well, they don't have enough, formal education, but they think they can do something else that formal education cannot provide. And some formally educated people can also become self-educated if they choose to keep learning. And for me, self-education is a real must. Why? Because most of self-educated people are the ones who make lots of difference to the world. And I will tell you why in the next slide. How many of you know this brand of motorbike? Raise your hand. Yes. Honda. Great. How about this man? Yes. Just watch the screen. It's Honda, the one who invented this motorbike. At the age of 15, he didn't finish his school. So he decided to take on a job in a mechanic workshop, and he learned mechanic skills over there. And after that, he went on to create his own mechanic workshop and create things like this motorbike and the vehicles we have now. So this is what, for me, is not, found at the school or universities. How about this product? How many of you are familiar with this? Yes. So all are Apple products. So who created all these products? Yeah, Steve Jobs. So Steve Jobs got a similar story. He didn't finish his college, but at the time he discovered that he can do something to change the way, we use the computer or the electronic device. That's why he came up with this Apple products. And this kind of thing happened, because he thought if he chose to stay in school, he could not achieve what he wanted. So he decided to quit the school and then launch something on his own. How about this? How many of you are on Facebook? Raise your hand. Wow. Most of us are on Facebook. What? Okay. So now you can see me on this profile. You can add me as friend if you want. Okay, just joking. Okay, but I'd like to talk about this man, the founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. So he was also a dropout. He didn't really finish the college, but he also discovered the way to change, something to change the way we communicate online or virtually. So that's why he came out with Facebook that most of us, or some of us, become addicted to. Okay. So this is not to tell you that you need to be, billionaires or have extraordinary ideas to become self-educated. This can also happen to ordinary people. Let me show you this. Okay. This is the bachelor degree of my elder sister. She majored in finance and banking. My own bachelor degree in French studies. And I got another one in general management, which proves that I'm also formally educated. And this is the bachelor degree of my sister, my younger sister. She majors in tourism and hospitality. But the person I'm talking about is this lady, my late mother. So while at grade 2, my grandmother asked her to stop her study just to go and work to support the family. At the time, she regretted so much that she swore that she would not let her children meet the same destiny as her. That's why, after Khmer Rouge regime and after marriage with my father, she decided to venture in vegetable business. And because of us, she tripled the size of her original store to cover our study expense. And here we are now with our degrees as she dreamed. This concept of self-education can also apply to groups of people. How many of you watched this film before? No one. Okay, never mind. This is a collective film called Twin Diamonds. How about this event? Anybody attended before? Okay. This exhibition focuses on Cambodian cinema in the 1960s and 70s. And this was made possible by this group of young people. They are university students and young artists. And we call ourselves Kon Khmer Koun Khmer, which means in English, Cambodian films, Cambodian generations. So at 4K, as our initial, our main activities focus on film production and film-related events. So actually, when a member has an idea, we just discuss it and decide whether or not it can become a film. So once decided, we put together our efforts, pool all the resources available, and make that happen. And the interesting thing is that none of us went to film college before. We just learn things from experienced people or from experts, and then make what we want happen. And we are now on our second film, and it is called Boyfriend. And I'm glad that some of Focus here are here, some of the Kon Khmer Koun Khmer members are here, and some are in the middle of their shooting. So some of you might wonder how to educate ourselves. Actually, self-education already exists in all of us. Some already know it, some don't even know it. Anyway, to get you to know better about the characteristics and the habits of self-educated people, I like to tell you the 7 habits of, or the 7 characteristics of these people here. The first point is this. Self-educated people are those who could answer the questions like, who am I? What do I really want? Is it just to get a job? Is it just to follow other people? Am I doing really what I want? So they keep questioning themselves until they get the clear answers. And the second point is the idea. They are very well known for their ideas, but most of the time they put that idea into action and then they work around the idea to make what they want happen. The third point is that self-educated people are those who use their 5 senses in a different way from ours. So let me give you this example. Do you like this dumb side? Of course you don't. It's smelly and ugly. But for a self-educated person, it can become this beautiful garden. So they see a problem as an opportunity for them to grow themselves and to benefit the world. And the fourth trait is the positive thinking. So regarding this, I'd like to tell you an anecdote about Will Smith, this famous Hollywood star. Yes, so some of you might know him already. So there was a time a TV host asked him a question. What do you think about racism? Yes, racial discrimination, because he's a black guy, by the way. So he just answered, I don't care about racism. If I keep thinking about it, that negative act will happen to me. So I just ignore it. I just get faced to it. I just get through it or get around it just to get what I want. And that's all. And that's how he can be who he is today. And this positive thinking is not commonly found in our academic curriculum. And positive, self-educated people are very selective of the events and environments they live in. So the fact that you are listening to my presentation right now is also part of self-education. And the 6th characteristic is that self-educated people tend to work with a group of like-minded people. In my personal case, I have what I call Mastermind Club. So at Mastermind Club, we meet each other every week. And the main goal of the meeting is to get updated about each other, about our progress, be it emotional, professional, personal. So if anybody has a challenge, we raise it and we solve it and we learn from each other. And sometimes we might put some ideas into projects like this picture. So it was taken when we finished our trip to visit an interesting person at Gap. So to get there, we didn't use our money from our full-time activity. We launched a project and to earn some money together. And then this way we can afford this trip. And the last but not least, self-educated people are those who are very open to learn new things. And they keep growing their resource because they know that self-education or the education from other people, from the environment, or from the events are so important to them. So I'd like to finish this presentation with this statement. If you think you're done learning, then you're not growing. So you can choose to think that this cup is half empty or half full. So thank you for your attention.